Welcome, everyone. So if you're staring down the HLR Fall 2026 catalog right now and feeling that familiar mix of total excitement and, well, absolute strategic dread, you're definitely in the right place. In today's explainer, we're not just treating course registration like some administrative chore. No, this is a high-stakes puzzle. We're going to completely break down the system, and I'll be walking you through my exact course selections and my personal bidding strategy to guarantee an amazing semester. Because here's the really big question we have to tackle today. How do you actually beat the odds? Think about it. You've got hundreds of brilliant peers, right? And we're all vying for seats in these incredibly niche, utterly fascinating classes that are strictly capped at what, maybe 12 or 15 people? Securing your desired course load takes way more than just picking what sounds fun. You absolutely need a tactical approach. Okay, let's dive into this. The official catalog establishes a really crucial June registration window. The clock is literally ticking, and understanding the ground rules laid out here is your absolute first step to victory. Here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the registration arena and decode the algorithm. Then I'll walk you through my round one strategy, my mid-round tactical picks, and why the alternate safety net is literally a lifesaver. Finally, we'll wrap up with some absolutely essential final pointers. Okay, Section 1, the registration arena. We really need to nail down the foundational rules of the system before we even think about placing a single bid.
So you have to understand, the HILR system doesn't just process registrations person by person. If it did, right, the first person to log in would snatch up everything, and the last person would get absolutely nothing. Instead, it uses this sort of arena-style algorithm. It works sequentially. Basically, the system looks at everyone's round one, or first choices, all at the exact same time. Then, and only then, it moves to everyone's round two choices, then round three, and so on, filling up courses until they hit their caps.
And because of that, the catalog issues this stark warning. It says you must select many options, not just your top choices. Listen, the algorithm does not hold spaces for you in later rounds. If a course completely fills up in round one and you try to bid on it in round two, you're out of luck. It's gone. This is exactly why going in blind is a disaster, and why you need a really robust strategy.
Which brings us right to Section 2, decoding the algorithm. Let's take these theories and look at a real-world application. All right, here is the endgame, my completed 6-round draft board. Notice up top, my desired course load is set to 2.0, so the equivalent of 2 full semester courses. Now, kind of like a sports analyst looking at a draft, I'm making sure every single slot on this board is doing a specific job. Let's move to Section 3 and break down how this all builds together, starting with my round one strategy. This is where you really need to make your most aggressive moves.
Take a look at the opening tactic I used for round one. Notice my primary request is actually a bundle. I paired 2 half-session courses, If Rivers Could Speak and Ekphrasis. But my alternate request is just If Rivers Could Speak. This is a highly deliberate safety valve. See, if that super competitive Ekphrasis class is already full, I don't lose the entire round. My alternate just kicks in, and boom, I still guarantee a 0.5 course load right out of the gate.
So why was I willing to risk my primary round one slot on Ekphrasis in the first place? Well, when you look at the catalog details, it's a second-half session course, all about looking at works of art and the poetry they inspire, led by Laura Becker and Wendy Mukin. I mean, a subject matter that compelling, blending visual art and literature, it is practically guaranteed to drive sky-high demand. You absolutely cannot wait until round 3 to bid on something this universally appealing. You have to strike in round 1.
Okay, let's shift gears to Section 4, mid-round tactical picks. Once your heavy hitters are out of the way, how do we strategically fill out the roster in rounds 2 and 3? This is where the mid-round tactical genius comes in. In round 2, I placed a full semester anchor course. Edith Wharton and Henry James show you how to wreck your life. It's a meaty, full-term commitment, but look closely at round 3. I actually listed Ekphrasis again as my primary pick. Why would I do that? Well, just in case my bundled round 1 bid failed, I'm basically giving the algorithm a second chance to grab it for me if there happens to be like one single seat left. And why make the Edith Wharton course my round 2 anchor? Well, the catalog notes this class, taught by Karen Stone, explores how money warps character. It sounds absolutely fascinating. But here is the critical part. It is strictly capped at 15 to 16 students. Leaving a full semester course with a cap that tiny for the late rounds is incredibly dangerous. Bidding early is essential to secure a seat at that table.
Moving right along to Section 5, the alternate safety net. I cannot stress this enough. This is your ultimate defense mechanism against the registration algorithm. Let's just contrast 2 different approaches here.
If you only pick your top primary choices and you leave those alternate columns completely blank, you're basically flying without a parachute. If those classes fill up, you get nothing. Zero. But populating every single alternative option guarantees that even if your primary falls through, the algorithm has a safety net to catch you.
To see exactly how this works in action, look at how I padded my form with really fantastic backups. In my mid to late rounds, I listed alternates like the emergence of Italian city republics and Siddhartha as a window into life's journey in round 2. And then down in round 5, I used ocean superstars. The key here is that these aren't just throwaway picks. These are courses I genuinely want to take, carefully placed to catch me if my primary plans fall through.
And even in the late rounds, you can still make targeted strikes. Take my round 6 primary pick, The Escapism of Michael Chabon. It explores comic book superheroes and the golden age of comics. It's this highly specific niche topic, also capped at 15 to 16 students. It's actually a super viable late round target because its niche appeal means it might not instantly fill up in round 1 or 2. Plus, I supported it with a really strong alternate, an opera course, just in case.
Finally, we arrive at Section 6, Final Registration Pointers. Because, let's be real, the best strategy in the world means absolutely nothing if you miss the administrative deadlines.
So, let's walk through this crucial timeline. Registration officially opens on June 18th, but the date you really need to circle in bright red is June 24th. The catalog strongly urges you to log in and save a draft of your preferences by Wednesday, June 24th. Why? Because if you encounter a weird technical glitch, you need buffer time for IT to help you resolve it before the final hard deadline on June 28th. Seriously, do not wait until the 27th to realize you're locked out of your account. Then, by late July, we'll all finally find out our course placements.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one very important question. Is your draft saved? Seriously, don't leave your fall semester to chance. Log in, apply this playbook, strategically rank those primaries and alternates, and go conquer that algorithm. Good luck out there in the registration arena.